Okay, as you can see, this is a underfloor in a house with timber stumps, and the timber stumps they get a black mark on them when they get water damage, and they look okay until you dig down a little bit, like we're doing here, and and if you have a good look at this, you'll see just how rotten that is. Just 100 millimeters, dig down not very far, and you can see those timbers are actually rotted out underneath. And and oftentimes where you have water and timber, you'll get termites tracking up through the middle of those stumps. So some good steel stumps like this is the old method of steel stumps. They'll stop termites. But what we've got is we've actually got a factory where we make the adjustable stumps, and this is one of my pieces of equipment here that punch these out. And the adjustable stumps, rather than just replace it with a steel stump, that in the future, if that steel stump sags or sinks, then you need to shimmy it up, and then you end up with bits of timber stuck on top of the steel stump, or that to bring your house up to level. Or worse still, if you need to pull your house down for some reason, you've got to cut it off and put a new piece on. But with an adjustable top, if they just replace the steel stump and put an adjustable top on it, then they could pull the house down or push it up at any time in the future, and that saves doing another expensive repair on your home in 10 years time or 20 years time, or in some places the soil moves a lot more, and so you might have to do that repair in 5 years. But as you can see, that's our factory. We punched that out, and uh, and and that's the top part of our stump adjuster. So we make them ourselves. We ship them around the world. So if you need stump adjusters and you're in America or that, let me know. We make thousands of them, and we can get them produced and custom made to your order for whatever size stump you're making them. This is just one of my welders welding it up, and you can see there, pretty good weld. Let's have a look. Take that off. Yeah. There we go.
Beautiful.
And that's actually on a rotating turntable there, so when we weld up the T pieces, like on this piece here, we weld, that's a 10mm plate on the top with 13mm holes punched in it for your coach screws that go up into the floor joists. Then there's a 33mm threaded bar that goes down, and it runs through the two U shapes there that are welded together. You also notice that little tab in between the bottom U. That's actually a locator tab which you can screw into from either side, and just help stop it sliding sideways whilst you're putting it on there. And as you can see, if you cut the middle out of your spanner, because we've made those little recesses in either side, you get more turn with a spanner. The other thing that's really cool about our stump adjusters is that they can be screwed into the existing steel stumps, either a 90mm SHS or a 75mm SHS. We make them in the different sizes, and you can screw them on, bolt them on, and they've got those little locator tabs. You just saw that being screwed in on the side there. That's only there for a little bit extra support when you put the stump adjuster into place to stop it sliding sideways. But once it's in place, you put 4 screws in either side, and you can weld it on or bolt it on. It's really up to you. But the nuts are actually fairly loose, so the only nut you normally need is to push your house up a little bit. So the big nut on the top, as opposed to other stump adjusters, you can put a spanner on that big nut on the top and swing it all the way around easily to turn and pull your house up. And then the nut in the middle is just there to lock that in place. Now that's important because some of the stump adjusters don't have a way of locking it in place, and you can get a situation where when you walk on the floor, there's just that little gap between the two, and it'll push that pier, the threaded bar, down through their adjusters, and it'll just make it rattle a little bit. So you can get a noise when you walk through your house, because you know the 80 kilos that you weigh is just enough to make the the floor move down a tiny little bit and up again as you move off it, and it'll go ting 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 as you walk through the home. That doesn't happen with these because you can clamp that bottom nut up and lock it solid. So that's a real advantage of our stump adjusters.